Hi, and welcome back to Ukraine, the Dark and Light. In this Ukraine war news update, Russia's newly released 2026-2028 federal budget has revealed deep cracks in Vladimir Putin's war economy, raising serious doubts about how long the Kremlin can continue financing the war in Ukraine. According to opposition economist Vladimir Milov, Russia's financial situation is anything but normal as the government faces its longest streak of high deficits since the 1990s and has officially abandoned its goal of keeping the deficit below 1% of GDP. For 2025, the shortfall is projected at 2.6%, and experts warn that number could soar higher as the Ukraine war drags on and Western sanctions bite harder. Cut off from international credit markets and even refused loans by China, Moscow is now relying on domestic borrowing at punishing 15% interest rates, shrinking reserves, and desperate tax hikes to fill the gap. The once mighty National Wealth Fund, Russia's main fiscal cushion, has dropped to around $50 billion, far less than the $70 billion deficit expected for next year alone. Even the defense industry is in trouble. Rostech's CEO admits profits are near zero, leaving no funds for innovation or modernization. To save money, Moscow claims defense spending will shrink as a share of GDP, but analysts say those numbers are likely falsified. Meanwhile, regions like St. Petersburg and Tatarstan have slashed recruitment bonuses for volunteer fighters, showing how regional budgets are collapsing under pressure. With limited options left, the Kremlin appears to be turning to monetary emission, printing money to fund the state, a move economists warn could trigger a financial collapse like Russia's in 1998. Western experts agree this economic meltdown is largely the result of sanctions, lower oil prices, and an overvalued Russian ruble cutting into export revenues. Milov argues that Europe must go further, phasing out Russian LNG imports by 2027 and all other energy by 2028, since gas and oil sales still provide over half of Gazprom's profits. While the Kremlin insists its finances are stable, the numbers tell a different story. High inflation, shrinking reserves, and rising deficits show a country bleeding cash to keep its war machine alive. For anyone following Ukraine war news, this budget isn't just an economic forecast. It's a warning sign that Russia's ability to sustain the war in Ukraine is crumbling from within. Thanks for listening to Ukraine, the Dark and Light. Please like, subscribe, and share.